What?
What?
What the hell is this?
Harumph. I didn't get a harumph out of that guy.
Give the governor harumph.
Harumph!
You watch your ass.
I see you shiver with anticipation.
Let the show begin.
Hey everybody, this is David Heretic coming at you with another edition of Reactions, Reviews, and Rants. And tonight, okay, making their debut on the channel tonight.
Wait, what? Hold on.
I'm just kidding, I know. I made a mistake last time. Not making that mistake again. We're coming back to Illumishade. Yes, indeed. Illumishade Fans FEELIN YOU. Come on now. Here we go. Before we go any further, for those of you who are feeling inclined to doing all of the clicks and the likes and the bibbidi-bobbidi-bop, do me a favor before you do all that stuff. Please watch the whole video first, okay? Give me a chance to actually earn those clicks and likes. Now, after the video's done, you still feel like doing all those clicks and likes, then by all means, feel free to click away. This comes as a request from AB5, and this is actually AB5's prioritized request for the month of July for being a silver tier member on the Patreon page. So, here you go, AB5. Hope you enjoy the show. AB5 want to see me react to this. It is Illumishade with a tune called Muse of Unknown Forces. Now, have I heard this song before? No, I have not. To the best of my knowledge, this does not resonate with me in any way, shape, or form. However, there's always a possibility I may have heard the song in passing and I just don't realize it. So as always, if I start listening to the song and I suddenly go, wait a second, I've heard this song before, I'll let you know.
That's the truth.
You know me, I'm going to be honest with you guys. Let's see, this was posted by Illumishade Topic, okay? And the video has 33,000 views. It'll get you there. Other than that, there's really nothing else left to say. Link to the original video will be down below in the video description for your viewing pleasure at your leisure. Let's get started. What do you say? Are you ready? Are you ready? Because here we go. All right, here we go. Muse of Unknown Forces. That's all I got. I do recognize this. It does say Illumishade down here, so I mean, AB5's never steered me wrong, so I'm pretty sure we're in the right place. I guess we'll find out. All right, let's do this.
All right, boy, let's do this.
Switch to halftime with the modulation on top of it. I think that was the chorus we just heard. Switching gears on the chorus that way, the way that they did it. They rolled the dice, boy. Anything they could do to change what they had done prior to the chorus, except for one factor. Well, actually two factors. They took. They changed it in every way possible, except they didn't change the time signature and they didn't change the tempo. But they modulated, they switched gears from a straight time feel to a halftime feel, and they changed their approach when it comes to not what they were playing, but how they were playing it or how they were singing it. When bands do that, I applaud when bands take the initiative to make, each phrase of the song a little bit different, to make each phrase stand apart, but at the same time, stand apart from the pack, yes, but still work within the context of the song. I have heard a lot of bands who do exactly what Illumishade did when it comes to the either the pre-chorus or the chorus or the verse or whatever the case may be. And they will do everything in their power to make that one section stand out on its own by doing things like modulating or changing the feel or changing the approach. And sometimes all those things above combined. And even going as far as to maybe even changing time signature. So instead of having a straight ahead 4/4, switch up to 6/8 or something like that. The problem is, I've heard a lot of bands do this. They try so hard to make that one section stand apart from the rest of the song, they end up making that one part sound like part of a completely different song. Like it has no business being in the song that it's a part of. Luckily, that didn't happen here. But I'm not gonna lie, they definitely made quite a change. It still fits within the context of everything else that's happened, but it definitely is standing apart. The chorus is definitely standing apart from the rest of the song, but it doesn't stand on its own. It's not so far out there that it sounds like it doesn't belong. No, it still belongs. It sounds like it still belongs, but it definitely is standing on its own 2 feet without question. So they pulled it off. They absolutely pulled it off, and they pulled it off well. Good for them. It's not easy to do. There's that fine line of let's make it stand apart, but not so far that it becomes disconnected. So good on them. Good on them. They were able to pull that off.
If you trust in blood, your eyes, you better scream your last goodbye. Reveal your shame, my love. Come and face your sacrifice. And I, like a daffodil may, disappearing by the day. You made your choice, it's your mistake.
Wait. I got the 7, and I got the 7. What came after the 7?
Is to come and face your sacrifice. And I, like a daffodil may, disappearing by the day. You made your choice, it's your mistake. Hear my
7768. I think it is. One more time.
Sacrifice. And I, like a daffodil may, disappearing by the day. You made your choice, it's your mistake. Hear my cries.
Yeah, okay.
I say I'm a Muse of Unknown Forces. Fear my pain, for I retain all your well-known sources. Hear my cries.
The vocal lyric is strong.
I'm a
the vocal layering in that chorus is strong. It's very strong. Maybe a little too overpowering. I feel like the vocal layering, there's a lot of layers. There's a lot. They're taking and doubling and redoubling and redoubling and then redoubling again. There's like 16 layers of vocals in that chorus. Now, again, this is walking that fine line, but I think they may have crossed the line on this one. It's taking over. The vocal layers are taking over and pushing everything else down. It's so thick. It's so big. It's so powerful. It's overwhelming. It sounds good. Don't get me wrong. It does. But I feel like the vocals in that chorus are just ever so slightly diminishing everything else. Which is a little bit of a bummer. The pre-chorus with that 7/7. I got the 7 the first time I listened to it. Through when we had the first pre-chorus. I got the 7, but I missed what was coming after. I didn't want to pause. This time I had to pause because I wanted to get it. 7/8, 7/8, 6/8, 4/4. I like it. That's a nice little pattern there. They made it work. They definitely made it work. The 6 threw me off. When I heard it the first time through, I was like, what? That wasn't 7. Wait a minute. What was that? I wasn't sure if it was 5 or 6. I wasn't 100% sure. I knew it was shorter than 7. I was thinking it might even be 2/4. And I was like, maybe it's just 2 beats. But nope. It's 7/8, 7/8, 6/8, 4/4. Very cool. Very, very cool. Let's finish this out and we'll get to the review.
The forest play, then somebody my fight is almost done.
Yeah.
Now the forest play, then somebody fight united in a world. It breaks down everything that has been told. My fears and burning areas. You made a hear my cries, I say I'm a muse of unknown forces. Fear my pain, for I retain all your well-known sources. Hear my cries, I'm a muse of unknown forces. Fear my pain, for I retain all your well-known sources. Like a lost, forgotten now, crawling with passion.
Just how we started out, just opposite direction. Instead of a swell in, it's a swell out. Okay. I have mixed feelings about this one. Not quite as thrilled with this song as I have been the other two. And I have my reasons. I promise you, I'll give you my reasons. Let me get my thoughts together. I'll see you in the review, and we'll talk about it. Well, there you go, folks. That was Illumishade with Muse of Unknown Forces. This was a request from AB5, and this was actually AB5's prioritized request for the month of July for being a silver tier member on the Patreon page. So, there you go, AB5. Hope you enjoyed the show. Okay, I have a score, and I do have my reasons for giving it, I promise. And I will give you all my reasons for it. I promise, guys. We may be here for a little while, but I will tell you all my reasons. I guarantee it. Let's get to the score, and we'll go from there. On a scale of 1 to 10, I'm going to give that a 7.7. Yep, 7.7. I feel good about that score. Let me tell you why.
Why?
Okay, first things first, a 7.7. What does that mean? Well, a 7.7 would translate to a really good skill rating because overall, I think this was a really good song, okay? It would also get 4 to 5 stars and a B+ letter grade. So there you go. A 7.7, really good skill rating, 4 to 5 stars, and a B+ letter grade. Now, how did I come up with that score? So glad you asked. Okay, comparatively to the other songs I've heard from Illumishade, this is a weird one. It had things about it that I think were stronger than the other two songs I've heard, but at the same time, there's one key factor that I think was lower than the other two combined. I think the musicianship on this was on par. I think the musicianship, I think the songwriting was on par. Maybe even a little above par, but from the other two songs I've heard from them. That the pre-chorus with the tie signature usage 7/8 6/8 4/4. I thought that was really cool. I thought that was really well utilized. They made it smooth as glass. It didn't feel like you could tell it wasn't 4/4. You could feel that, but it didn't feel broken. It didn't feel janky. It didn't feel it didn't feel abrupt whenever they would change the time signature. So that's fine. I have no issue with that. As far as musicianship goes, drumming, guitar playing, bass playing, just as good as the other albums. Okay, not the other albums, but the other songs that I've heard on the channel. It sounded just as good. Hitting for par definitely with the other songs. I think the idea of what they did in the chorus, the approach of switching from straight time to halftime, modulating up so that they would change, not so much change key, but they would change the starting point, changing the approach as far as how the vocals were being executed, and how the guitar playing, focusing less on chunking and more on sustained chords, filling out the sound. I liked all of that. And I talked at length about this. There's a risk that when you do too much to change a particular part of the song, what you're trying to do is make that one particular phrase of the song stand apart and stand alone, and break it away from being mundane. I get that, I do. But sometimes some bands, when they try to do that, they do a little too much, and as a result, it sounds disjointed. It sounds disconnected. It sounds like it's a completely different song, and it has absolutely no business being in the current song. That was not the case here. They did make it stand apart. Yes, they did, but they didn't make it stand apart so much that it doesn't sound like it belongs. No, it absolutely belongs. If I'm being honest, I think that was probably the strongest thing about the song, is how they were able to pull that off, which I find ironic because its biggest strength was also the source of its biggest weakness. In that chorus, the vocal layering. Now listen, I am all in favor of vocal layering. Okay, I am. When you take the vocals and you add layers to it, you double and redouble, and you stack them, and you make the vocal sound even bigger than they actually are, even grander than they actually are, adding more voicings, more notation to create deeper harmonies, bigger. Instead of just having a 2-part harmony, you make it a 3-part or even a 4-part harmony. I'm always in favor of that, as long as it doesn't end up burying everything else that's happening in the chorus. And unfortunately, I hate to say this, but it happened. The vocal layering was so big and so strong. Everything else, bass, drums, guitars, keyboards all got pushed down. Now, they didn't get completely buried. They didn't get completely eliminated, okay? It's not like you couldn't hear them at all. No, you could hear them. But let's be honest here. What really was taking over? The vocals were taking over the chorus. They overtook everything else. So they were there, you could hear them, but they didn't feel or sound nearly as important as all of those vocal layers did. And unfortunately, we're talking about the chorus. Like, if that had been done, like, for example, okay, let's say there was a bridge in this song, and they did it on the bridge. That would be one thing, because the bridge, by Bridge's usual own standards, they kind of stand apart on their own anyway. So that would have been different. But because it's the chorus, it's where the hook is supposed to be. It's the part of the song that everybody, typically 9 times out of 10, will remember. It is a very impactful part of the song. So for it to happen there, of all places, the chorus, bad form. I was not a fan. It ended up kind of killing the chorus for me, which is a shame because I liked the direction the chorus went. So, taking everything into account, this is how I'm coming up with a 7.7. I don't hate the song. I still like the song, but the overproduction of the vocal layering in the chorus just really kind of left a bad taste in my mouth, unfortunately. So, still getting a 7.7 though. I mean, everything else I thoroughly enjoyed in the song. Like I said, the musicianship was fine. The vocals themselves were fine. Hitting on par with everything else I've heard from Illumishade up to this point. So, this is how we're at a 7.7. I feel good about that score, and that's where we're going to stay. So, let's wrap everything up here in a nice shiny bow, shall we? We have a 7.7, which is a really good skill rating, 4 out of 5 stars, and a B+ letter grade. Take your pick, I don't care, whichever one of those floats your boat. Final word, final score, I have spoken. Well, that's going to do it for this edition of Reactions, Reviews, and Rants. Hope you all enjoyed the show. Hopefully I was able to entertain you. If I was able to put a smile on your face and brighten your day, I did my job, and I'm so glad I could do it. If you guys feel like joining the fan base, go ahead and click on that button down there. If you guys want to like the video, go ahead and like the video. If you guys want to ring the bell, go ahead and ring the bell. It honestly doesn't make any difference at all to me, but if you guys feel like doing these things, well then by all means, feel free to do so. Well, that's going to do it for the night, folks. Thank you very much for watching, and as always, this is David Heretic signing off, reminding you to stay fabulous and support each other. Later. Peace.